Welcome to a video tutorial of AuctionRPM. My name is Dan Zumwalt, and I will be your guide through this overview of the main menu video. Here on your screen, you will see the main menu of AuctionRPM. This main menu is broken down into three separate areas of the main menu. The first area is here on the left. You'll see the main menu categories here entitled Auctions, Accounting, Reports, Tools, Appraisals, and so forth. Now these categories identify which menu you wish to look at here in the upper right portion of the main menu. This is the second area of the main menu that we're looking at here. Now right now, Auctions is highlighted here in the upper left, and so as a result, we're looking at the Auctions menu. If, however, I clicked on Accounting, then that would change the menu that I wish to look at to the Accounting menu. Now, all of these menus that we're looking at here in the upper right portion of the main menu, they all have submenus. Right now, for instance, you'll notice that we're looking at the Preparation submenu. The Preparation submenu contains options all having to do with the preparing for the auction. Whereas if I click on Marketing, these are options having to do with getting the word out about the auctions. Day of auction contains things done on the actual day of auction, and then after auction, of course, contains a listing of about a dozen or so reports that are the most commonly pulled reports after an auction. You'll notice that these tabs going across the top of the auctions menu follow the natural progression of the auction. First you prepare for it, then you get the word out, you do your marketing, you perform the auction itself on the day of the auction, and then after auction you pull your reports. Finally, the third section of the main menu down here is entitled User Configurable Menu Items. Now this menu down here, you'll notice, has 9 blank buttons. Why would we have blank buttons on the main menu? Well, let's suppose that when you log in to AuctionRPM, you log in with your own name. You probably have already logged in to AuctionRPM using the admin user. Admin is the default user that comes with every installation of AuctionRPM. But one of the things you can do, should you decide to, is you can create additional logins to AuctionRPM. Let's suppose that you created a login for Steve, another login for Sally, another login for Joe. Well, if you log in as Sally, then what's going to happen is this User Configurable Menu Items section will be configured the way Sally likes it. But if you log in as Joe, this area will be configured the way Joe likes it. Now the configuration of these buttons is very simple. Let's suppose that under the Preparation menu, there are options here that Joe uses quite a bit. Let's suppose that one of the things that Joe does is he uses Add Edit Lots. Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hold down my right mouse button, and I'm going to drag that Add Edit Lots button down, and I'm going to drop it here on one of the blank buttons. Once I do that, you'll notice that the same caption appears on this blank button as it does up here. Now, regardless of what menu I happen to be looking at up here in the top area, this option is always sitting here for Joe to use. And so that way Joe can customize the way that this menu looks and feels to coincide with what Joe does a lot of. If he wishes to use the Add Edit Lot screen, regardless of what menu he may be looking at here, all he has to do now is just click on this button. Now a similar situation holds true with reports in the main menu. On the reports menu, you'll notice that you have a myriad of reports that can be printed here. Well, these reports could be drug. If I highlight this report here, the Auctioneer Master Catalog, I could drag that report down to one of these buttons and drop it. And as you can see now, this button has been assigned to that report. But I don't want to do that. You see, I only have 9 buttons here, and I may want to use these buttons for other options like bidder registration or create invoices. And odds are I've got more than just 9 reports that I may want to pull. Well, instead of putting a report down here, I'm going to right mouse click on this button, I'm going to clear the assignment of that button, and instead I'm going to take this report and I'm going to do a right mouse click drag, and I'm going to drag this report up to My Reports. My Reports is a custom list for Joe, or whoever I'm logged in as right now, a list of reports that are specifically set aside, indicating that these reports are reports that mean a lot to you. As we said earlier, there's a lot of reports in AuctionRPM. If I click on all reports, I can scroll down here all the way to the bottom, and I can see that I have well over 200 reports that are in the system. The odds are not all of these reports are going to be meaningful for you, since some of these reports have to do with livestock auctions, or vehicle auctions, or personal property auctions, or jewelry or antique auctions. So once you find a report that fits your business model, then take that report, drag it up to My Reports, and drop it. Then that way you can have a subset of reports that works specifically for your business. All of the options that are found on the main menus up here can be dragged down to the user configurable menu items, and should you decide to, you can even rename the options. Let's suppose that I drag Create Invoice down to one of these blank buttons, and I now have it saying Create Invoice. But instead, maybe I want to just simply call it Checkout. All I have to do is right mouse click on this button right here and choose Rename this button, and now it'll ask me to give it a new name. And once I type in the new name and I hit OK, now the new name is sitting there waiting for me. Well, that's an overview of the main menu, and I look forward to perhaps helping you with some of the other videos in this video tutorial. Thank you for listening.